Perfect. Good job. Good job, Miss States. Oh, that is expensive. It's like being one of those guys that just likes to tell me that being a chef isn't a real job. Not you, obviously. I know you're talking. Let me get this plate ready. I figured I'd do something a little. The meat's frozen. Something really too special. Probably all the CDC said going to the egg, so I can have that authenticity. Putting an egg into the burger. Also, there's an update. It should be working sometime around the 15th. I think that's when the kitchen opens. Okay. Not 100% though. Joji. We do a burger with an egg. Over medium. Have some Doritos on the side. No matter what you do, you always make sure your pan's hot. If you put anything in, that's a given. We don't know about that. Well, now you do. So you see weird shit happening on like Hell's Kitchen. Like that one lady decided to add cold water to boiling water because she thought it would boil faster. Some kind of shit like that. It's gonna be a little breakfasty. I don't feel like cooking bacon right now. That's where it's gonna go. I don't know if I want to catch it much here, but there you go, definitely. Um, I appreciate that. Thank you. Sounds just wrong. Because the burger is already done. It's still cooking by taking up the heat. So I always want to season your egg. halfway into cooking. Let's season it as soon as you drop it in. Salt, pepper, chili powder. And depending on what kind of seasoning you use, it's relatively pretty easy to season stuff. Just want to kind of do the portions. Ah, that's fine. I messed up my flip. This pan's too small. It's gonna stop. Now let's see. Okay. Yeah, I fucked up the egg, but I recovered it. It's still gonna fit just fine. Thankfully, it's for me, so it's not, and I don't have to make it commercial. You know? Man off. I'm gonna add mustard to make it a little bit more saucy. Egg on top. I also try to clean as much as I can when I'm cooking, just because once I sit down, that's it. You know, I don't like getting back up, so I try to clean up as much as possible. If I can't do everything, you know what I mean? And it's nothing too fancy here. Just pretty cheap ingredients. Got 2 glasses a day all frozen up. You can't really see it here, but you can see kind of like the smoke of the ice that's coming off of it. These are really convenient. Yeah, exactly, man. I'm reading what you're saying. finishing up here. If I did the burger like an authentic way, it would nothing like this. But this it's food to soak up the beer with this. But I'm also getting a glass of water because I don't want to overdo myself. I've become the designated household ice maker. My mom's pretty old school, so what she does, but she buys like a tub of ice cream, and as soon as it goes through, she keeps it for ice, and then kind of like replenishing. And I even asked her like, "Hey, why if I just bought you an ice maker?" She's like, "Fucking why?" All right. As you would. This is not. I'm just gonna refreeze it. Putting it down. So usually this one was the one that usually gives me some props. Not today. Section of 3 cubes. They're all just different. So now I got like a half tank full of ice. More freezing up. There's still some already frozen, but I'm not gonna go through it all. I don't want my food to get cold. Hand wash is what we did here. Especially the stuff I'm about to drink. Oh yeah. Um, I could talk about that for a minute because a lot of people my age, they don't really take care of their bodies at all. You know? And the same people with all these health problems and shit like that. They look at me and like, well, you're an alcoholic, you're not healthy. I'm like, Bro, I drink maybe once or twice a week, and I don't really get that drunk. So other than that, I drink a lot of water. I do have my fair share of sodas with me to have. I never have more than 3 sodas a day, unless if it's just one of those days where I feel like a fatty. Other than that, yeah, no. That's because I know damn well that beer is not healthy for you. It's not. I don't care what anyone says. I forgot to wash this. That's fine. Yeah, all these other 35-year-olds, man, they just. I really want to end this barbecue sauce. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, like, poison water? It's like your water got a. Oh, yeah. Just gotta be really careful, isn't it? About fucking crap. For Sweet Baby Ray's, but that's okay. Yeah. I guess still look pretty young, eh? It's part of my genetics. Well, it's both genetics and I'm not necessarily like a health freak or anything, but I listen to my body, like you were saying. And if I want water, it gets water. You know, like I'm more than smart enough to understand that soda pop or some fruit juice or anything like that, that's not going to actually rehydrate my body. So I don't try to lie to myself like that, like a lot of other people do. I'm thirsty. I want some cranberry juice, 100% cranberry juice with all this sugar that fucks my body over a little bit. It doesn't actually hydrate my body, but I'm just thirsty. Like people like that. I've been going through a lot of this ghost pepper sauce here too, and I keep it in my room for a reason because nobody else in my family that comes by, they can't really handle hot stuff. So I don't want them to actually grab it and try to roll with it. You know what I mean? And then cry, and then it's my fault because they decided to not read. Especially when you're living with. So my mom's side, they're dominant female. Like out of all the 6 kids, there's only like 2 kids that are male, 4 female, and all 4 females are loud mouths. So when something doesn't go their way, they find someone else to blame. Don't judge me. I don't drink this from the bottle. Drink it from a glass. That's what the second glass is for. With that bonus. Yeah. I'm a cook, man, so like I know what's good for me and what's not, just based off my knowledge and my experience. You know, it's not like I'm gonna go like the next fad keto diet or anything like that. Go on Weight Watchers or something like that. I already know. All right, all right. The skin is already a little bit too saucy, and the patty's bigger than the bun, so that's something. You know what? Before it's too late. Actually, no. I have TP right here. I don't need like toilet paper. Not toilet paper. Paper towels. It's not that messy. Spice is definitely there. But the cool thing about this, most most ghost pepper sauces are just straight up heat. This has a lot of flavor to it. It does have that heat too, but Melinda's, I've tried like almost every sauce. Well, all of every sauce I've tried from this brand, they all genuinely surprise me, like on how decent it is. So shout outs to that. It doesn't kill me, you know. It does have that ghost pepper esque taste to it, but as far as like being like hella spicy goes, no, not really. Like you could probably get away with like putting like half of this bottle inside like a crock pot of chili or something like that, and you'll just get like more minor heat. Um, However, if you just put in like on a chip or something like that, then you can get more of this of the spice of it. But with hot sauces, you generally just want to add it to something like a pizza or a burger or maybe even just like a chicken wing or something like that. I also have this little boy too. This is a I'm not sure what this is, what this classifies as. Oh, it's a vodka. It's banana. Very sharp Brazilian heat. It's not crazy hot. It just tastes great. Habanero and citrus. Yeah. Citrus flavoring is the way that I tend to go whenever I'm writing a recipe for a restaurant. Because in California, citrus, tropical, you want that hand in hand. People want that feeling. You know what I mean? Seasoning is highly important in California food because people are paying pretty top dollar for California food. So gotta get creative a little bit. That's really where it is. And obviously technique with cooking stuff, but raw reapers fuck you up. Especially on an empty stomach too, man. Like, props to you. But holy shit. I could do one and then like tap out. Hey, one time I did like a spoonful of the bomb sauce from Hot Ones. The bomb tastes like shit. First off, take it off. It's hot as hell. It's meant to hurt people. It's not. You're not supposed to. It's not there to enjoy. There's no joy in eating that sauce. It's just kind of like depressing and painful. All right, so what we're gonna do now that's calm down a bit. Nice, you got a couple bites. Well, I got one bite of the burger and a couple chips in me. I put some of this. This is kind of stupid, but I don't care. Just a little bit of it though, not too much. You just want to get that extra kick, just like that. And now I just smell banana. Put the cap back on that. I'm gonna take another bite, and then I'm going to down that shit. Chocolate and heat go very well together too. I have to be in the mood for chocolate myself, but when I am, I'm a Milky Way candy bar guy. Milky Way. I used to be Three Musketeers, but now I need a little bit more substance in my bars. 100 grand. Um, anything with like peanuts in it. Peanuts, or I could go with like a Reese's too, but down the hatch, water on deck. I use water as a chaser. Technically no need it, but I don't want that taste in my mouth for too long. Palate cleanser and lag. Feel a little bit of bite right here from the vodka. It's just like on the tip of my tongue, but that's it. But as we let that settle, I'm glad I took the second bite too, because you're gonna drink the malts. You need food pairing to go with it. And not because like it makes it taste better or anything like that. It's more enjoyable to have food anyway with beer, but people who drink the shit out of an empty stomach are nutcases. And also the people who do the 800 Club, and a part of me, I admit, I'm only saying this because I've tried it and I can't do it. Y'all are fucking nuts. Nuts to me. I'm a decent 200-pound man. Budweiser or Heineken? Um, It's kind of close for me, but I would say I don't like the smell of Heineken, so I'd probably have to say Budweiser. I want if I looked at both, I would prefer like Heineken, but I think overall Budweiser's probably a little bit better tasting and a little bit more pleasant. Um, if I was going to go with the stuff Heineken, I would just go with Stella. But between Budweiser and Heineken, yeah, I'll go with Budweiser. That's also kind of biased too because my grandpa, when he was still alive back in the day, he always drank Budweiser too. And whenever we watched the Super Bowl, we'd wait for the Budweiser commercial. And when you're young enough, the frog saying Budweiser kind of sticks. So nothing wrong with Heineken drinkers, though. Don't get me wrong. I know a couple people who ride or die by Heineken, so you're like, okay, that's you. Everyone has a different palate, right? Um, so it's not like I'm gonna be one of those guys like, you drink Heineken, you're fucking weird. Nah, not like that. I'll never be like that. Can't do that. It's part, like I said, like understanding other people's palates is part of my job as well. So I grasp an understanding of it, and I learn more the more I talk to people, whether they're a cook or not. So, and with his upcoming job, I have to be really careful too, and because it's going to be very fickle. So, with this restaurant that's reopening up under new management, um, the reason why the last owners closed it down is because they got like a really bad reputation, a really bad one, and the cooks there, no one cared. You know, he had a couple waitresses that cared. I worked with one of them myself when I was cooking in my last job when I was in the city, and she was a great worker. She was very young, and I think that's kind of like drove her. Raised pretty well, pretty fine too. Just saying. Um, she was 22 at the time, and I was like 32. So too young for me, but she was fine. So I knew that, but I was like, gosh, yeah, but she's got a little bit of growing up to do, like mentally. Like she's not hurt enough. So, but as a worker, she was great. But that aside, all the food that came out of that kitchen was like coming out was like pretty mediocre. Um, when I was talking to my new boss, I pointed out one of the problems I had because I went to that last restaurant once and only once. From when I was sitting at the bar, I could see that there were fruit flies in some of the bottles of liquor. And I pointed that out to my new boss, and he was just like, "Wait, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, they didn't give a fuck, you know, and they didn't want to throw any bottles of liquor away because that's money cost." I'm like, but like at the same time, say this right here. This costs about $2 off the shelf, off the market. Not even that. If I'd be honest with you, probably just like $1.50. Has about two shots in it. A bar can get away with charging a shot of this for about $5, $6. So you're already earning, typically, depending on what you're selling and how you're selling it, you're already earning a little bit over 200% of how much you spent on that bottle. Especially if a bottle is like $20 and it's like 750 liters. For every 750, um, for every 750 milliliters, you get about 18 shots. And say you bought that bottle for $20, and then sell each shot for $5. Guess what? 18 times 5 is what, like, so 50 times or 5 times 10 is $50. About 100 bucks, give or take, depending on off of a $20 bottle. So it's so much profit in just like pouring a shot, you know. And you get people who are greedy enough but not careful enough with their with their restaurant. They see these things and they're just like, whatever. But it's like it's $20, dude. First off, if you actually care about the business, there won't be any fucking fruit flies. That bar has to be clean, no matter what. You know, I worked with bartenders before. You know, I've talked to plenty of bartenders. That bar has to be clean, no matter what. No hidden food, nothing kicked under under the bar or anything like that. Every piece and bit gets picked up. Every crevice gets cleaned up, so you don't attract fruit flies. All the bottles have to be covered up. It's pretty simple stuff, but like if you don't care, then it's easy to attract. You know what I mean? And then once you see it, you're like, yeah, whatever. Don't want to replace the bottle. Don't want to spend the extra $20 as a business person in the restaurant industry. That's suicide. So that's what the owners did, or the previous owners did. They didn't even clean up. They just shut doors and just left everything and just said, "Fuck it, we're out." It's so crazy. I would be honest with you too. Although I do prefer Cold Ranch, he's paired pretty well with what I'm doing. But yeah, that's bar thing 101. Even if you go to a bar, pay attention to that shit. You know, don't ask for the bottle or anything like that. But normally when you have like this, um, because you have to have a face and show them, you can see it. You can see if there's any fruit flies, like from where you're sitting. So just look. If you don't see anything sus, then you're probably good to go. Good to go. Because most bars don't do that. That's stupid. Why would you? Why? You know? I don't know about who Upajaj is, but I'm pretty sure he sucks. If I pronounced that wrong, my bad. Bet he sucks. How sorry can I be? So as far as like a frozen patty goes, that's not too bad of a bite, huh? Steak was fried hard. I meant to do fried meat over medium, but it's fried hard. Just fuck it. I don't like the yolk going on my burger. I want the yolk cooked. I want like my eggs like fully cooked, no matter how I do it. So I know how to do other styles, but I want that full egg texture with my meat, especially with the chili peppers kicking in. Yeah, if I'm using a frozen patty, that's what the egg is doing. The egg is saving this frozen patty from being just like a very mediocre burger. It still kind of is, but I'm enjoying it. So I mean, yeah, this sauce has what is that? Cayenne pepper, carrot, carrot, ghost pepper mash, white onion, lime juice, bit of garlic. Most hot sauces have garlic. Anytime, man. We can talk about hot sauces all day too. I was about to go on a little bit mini Mini old man. What do you call it? Chat about it. So what I did, take care of yourself. And it doesn't matter who comes or goes or anything like that. Don't feel like here's a I'll kick it in a little bit. So now I'm being a little bit absent-minded. Don't feel like obligated to like, oh, you got a stage just because like there's only 1 to 2 people view. I can talk my head off with no viewers. And everybody who I know personally, like on this platform that I met, they don't quite understand it. It's just how my brain is. You know, I don't think I have ADD, but sometimes I question it. You know, I'm thinking that maybe I do. But I see people with actual ADD or ADHD, and oh, I'm not really like that. Sometimes I kind of forget about what I'm talking about, but I get excited easily. That's definitely for sure. Like, especially if I'm drinking, there could be moments where I'm like watching something, I'm thinking about something, and then my mind just like clicks back a little bit. Like the last time that I actually got drunk, my mind, and this is like the most innocent thing, you know, my mind clicked back. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that show called that I watched when I was a kid? And like popped in Freakazoid in my head. So I started watching Freakazoid episodes, and I was just like, I was laughing. It was fun. It was great. So I fucking love Freakazoid. And the main reason why I love Freakazoid is because the show's fucking weird, and the humor is just like random, like wild cardage. So, and that's kind of like how I am too. And I swear, man, like they need to re-release Freakazoid in some aspect. I know they did like a spin-off with like Team or Toon Titans, to where they had a full episode with Freakazoid in it. But I need a little bit more of that. You know, have another season of Freakazoid, and I swear to God, like kids who were the same age as me, who are now like middle-aged adults, laugh at it because I sent a clip to everyone that I went to high school with, and it was like a 15-second clip. And normally, when I send clips like on Facebook about random stuff, when I do, people just like laugh. You know, they send like a haha. Every like I swear, like the 10 people I sent it to, 8 of them responded like, "Holy shit! I forgot about this show. This is funny as hell." Like, it's great. It is so funny. I love Forget the Wind. Joe Biden or Trump? Neither. If I had my choice, I think if we want to talk to politics, I think actually no, I know Trump is going to win. Um, I don't know if Trump is the kind of president that we need right now. I'll grant this: for the time that he was president and everyone judged him, he did a lot better job than what most people thought he would. That's myself included. But right now, it's just so the presidential election is it's just not what it used to be. You know, it's becoming more and more of a soap opera than what it needs to be. You know what I mean? Uh, Joe Biden, he needs to just fuck off and retire somewhere, in my opinion. And you know, he has a long track record of criminal activity, um, and now he's just at that age to where he just doesn't make sense anymore. And as for what I heard from his last election or last presidential debate with Trump,
he buried himself and made Trump look really good on complete accident. Whether he meant it or not, you don't need a leader like that who doesn't know exactly what they're talking about. Like, it's crazy, you know. But like with Trump, it's like it's hard to say. It's still very dicey to me. Out of the two, definitely Trump. If I had my choice, I would. I don't know. I don't like either of them right now. But if I had to choose, it probably would be Trump. I don't support him, but I know he could do a lot better. So I don't hate the guy. He's whatever to me. I just don't really care for him. Last person I actually thought did a pretty good job was Barack Obama, and that's even after he screwed me out of my taxes one year, a while back when I didn't have insurance. But that is what it is. Other than that, he did a fantastic job. He ran for 2 elections straight. He's the last person to do that. And think about it. Trump didn't last for 2 elections or two terms. I don't know why. I forgot why. I think there's a reason, but fact of the matter is he didn't. Had to be a good fucking reason behind it. But you won't see me like wearing like a Trump hat or going to like a car that's within my family or slapping like a sticker on whatever of Trump. Hell, fucking no, I'm not like that at all. I'm independent first and foremost. So Republican, Republican, Democrat. Both views need to just shut the fuck up and work with each other. But they're not going to do that because why? People like to debate about a lot of things, and people like to banter about what they think they know, or what they do know. It's all spread out. It's all spread out to everything. When it comes to like politics, when it comes to professional wrestling, when it comes to music, when it comes to beer, everything is always divided because people like to bitch about something. And it's just it's so fucking cringeworthy to watch. I'm technically a craft beer guy, but I do enjoy malt liquor too. So I mean, think of it that way. Like, do I think I give a fuck? No. I pour my malt liquor in a glass. Do you think I care? No. And I've been around this game for a very long time. I know how people can get pissed off at that, but I don't give a flying fuck. So it's my body. It's not their business. But a lot of people respect me for that. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit and pretend like, oh, Ken for president or anything like that. No, it's more like I think it's just all one big fucking cesspool of bullshit. So when we'd be perfectly fine if everyone just came to their consensus, worked as a team, and go with something. Let me ask you this. Why do you think people go, kids go on, let's say like a Call of Duty lobby or something like that? Why do you think they bitch at each other? It's because each play that they make, they have their own reason to do it. It's somewhat logical. But then once you get into an argument, they just fly off the wall. I was doing this, but why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? It's all fucking childish bullshit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sit there, you're gonna banter. Some people pay attention a lot more to politics than I do because they have the money to invest into some ideas, to some stocks, to where if one person wins above another, they can either earn more money or lose money. So there's that, but the people who end up wanting to do that are around like 10% of our population. So if that. So you know what I mean? It's just politics are garbage. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Or they do. And just assume that we don't. But if I had to pick between obviously Joe Biden or Donald Trump, I would tell Joe Biden myself, go retire. Go. You have the money, go. Stop it. And then let Trump do it. And maybe he'll surprise me again. Because like I said, he did a lot better than I thought he was going to. I just don't think he is what we need right now. But disregarding that, I could be wrong. I'm smart enough to understand that I could be wrong. Oh, Trump's going to win. There's so many people against Biden right now. So I do pay attention. A lot of public figures are very outspoken against Joe Biden right now. So and that plays a big role into how other people think. A little bit more in there. And I'm just going to say this too, if anyone who pops in here in and out, if you're a Biden supporter, don't worry, man. I fully respect your decision. I don't care enough to cause an argument. But yes, that just is what I was saying. Biden's just too old. Like he can't do it. Too senile. All right. I'm a chef, so I have sous chefs. Ideally, I work 40 hours a week. Um, right now, I can afford to do so. If I wanted to get a place of my own, I would take extra steps. I'm trying to avoid um, getting an apartment on my very own though, because those drain your wallet very quickly, especially in California. Uh, if you weren't here earlier, my father did pass. You know, do I edge? No. What? No. So the plan is the same restaurant that I'm working for. You could choose just one dish that you got to make for the rest of your life, but what's it going to be? If I had to do one dish, um, surf and turf. Just because if it's going to be the rest of my life, people could still order a steak at a certain rarity. So I know it would take a lot more for me to get bored of making that dish before I go insane. I would say surf and turf. And the surf would have to be like a lobster, a lobster tail, not shrimp, lobster tail. Something that takes like high concentration to where like I have to focus. Okay. Cheers to etching? No. Cheers to cooking. Here we go. I just assumed some idolatry shit that he's trying to talk about. So why are you doing this live real talk? Well, first off, you have a question and answer right there, and then we could talk. Nah, I'll answer the question while you're typing. That's fair enough. Now I'm thinking about it. So I don't really go live or I used to not go live that often for the past like couple of years. Like I'll probably do like once a month, maybe. Um, Reason number one, I do have this is kind of like my connection with some friends that I have that I met over the internet during the pandemic. During the pandemic, all the bars were shut down, so I met a lot of people through this platform just so we could have like an internet bar. So I wouldn't just be stuck at home drinking. I'd be drinking to other people and talk about other stuff. Get my mind going as I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it recently is, if I have to be completely honest with you, which I will, it's kind of like a little bit of a coping mechanism for my father's passing for the past 2 weeks. So honestly, that's kind of how it is. Um, it's keeping my mind busy. If I'm not doing this, then I would be playing video games or something like that. You know, I have about another 5 days off before I get to start working again. So it drives me a little insane, but that's relatable as fuck. Yeah. I have a weird working mind. So um, some people call me a genius. Some people call me an idiot. Never really in between. And you know what? I like it like that. So half my family thinks I'm stupid. Smart, but stupid. Mainly because of this. Okay. A little bit of vodka and the small liquor. This is nuts. But here we go. Music testing. We could talk about music too if you want. Got a lot of music, live music that's happening around here. Cheers to you. Think about this too. Know that I'm at it. Why the hell would I want to drink alone? Why would anybody? It's not necessarily because I'm depressed, right? I went through my depression stages, and I think like talking about it on here, which I did with a couple of people, it helped me out. It helped me out a lot. If I sat here not doing anything and just picking up beer after beer, that'd be self-destructive, right? So I'd rather be on here, knowing full well that have a small cult following. You know, from throughout the years, and you know, I meet random characters who are just like, "Oh wait, Ken's live, huh? What's he up to?" Sometimes I don't even know the motherfucker, but people are always welcome, so long as they're respectful. Just like he was, he said on the real, like, what makes you want to do it like this? And then, you know what? That deserves a fair answer. I'm like that. I'm about that. So, do I drink whiskey? Not recently. I'm staying away from whiskey because whiskey's kind of like my weakness. However, it's not too far away from the future. I don't think at this rate. It has to be a really nice whiskey though. Like it can't be like a Jameson or a Jack Daniels or anything like that. If I'm gonna drink whiskey, it's gonna be like a really fine defined whiskey. It's gonna be on the rocks. I won't mix it with anything else. Maybe have some water, just like I'm doing with beer. But I'm mainly a beer guy, mainly because it keeps my mind busy enough to where I don't get too drunk. So speaking of, I have like a shit ton of lacing on this. I'm going to wash this out. There's this one whiskey that I want to get my hands on. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's called the Knot. Another whiskey that I'm very big on is Larceny. Macallan probably sounds like something I would probably drink if it's not too expensive. Technically mixing beer with vodka right now, but whiskey on the rocks. Some rum's pretty good too, but most rum that I've had recently, they just doesn't really captivate me anymore. Most hard liquor doesn't. Um, Stay for 2 months to have one bottle of the Macallan. Hell yeah, brother. Tequila is also like a really big weakness of mine too. I tend to stay away from tequila because tequila's amazing. No hat, man. Nah, no hat. Oh, no cap. The fuck, man. Rip. RIP my fucking sense of humor. But no, so long as you know how to control it and be responsible and hold your job up and take care of yourself. Yeah, a really nice bottle of whiskey is worth setting aside, some money to just to get it. I do also recommend, like, if you're gonna buy like anything that expensive, just to watch reviews about it, because those review artists they know what's gonna do. Hey man, not my idea. People have been doing this for a very long time. I'm just the one enforcing it, and one of the few ones that didn't go shitballs crazy. How many people have tried to tell me and tell other people that knew me, oh, I don't like you anymore because you tried to hack me, and then just find out that they just got too drunk and fucked up their own computer on their own whim. Like, I don't even know how to fucking dox anybody. I don't care to. I don't really give a shit. But all the people were like that back in the day, and I'm just like, well, fucking, you're off your rocker. You know, maybe a little bit too wet brained or something like that. Who knows? I don't. Whatever. But you'll find a good-hearted people around here. I guarantee you that. Um, where do I stay? I stay in California. This is this is my current room. Unfortunately, it's not an ideal room as of right now, but four walls is four walls, right? So, do I hit the gym? No, I don't. I'm naturally like this. I should, because if I'm in okay shape right now, I I probably should. It probably would benefit me a lot more. I do walk everywhere. I don't drive, so I keep up my cardio. Um, but also the reason why I'm wearing this tank top is probably the reason why you asked is because I live in California, and California is hot. And I've been given shit by people who live in like Texas, stuff like that. Well, it's hotter in Texas. I understand. I understand that. I understand that it's hotter in Texas. California boys are not built for 107 degrees. I'm sorry. Like we're not. We hate it. Well, you look pretty muscular for someone who doesn't work out. Thank you. Well, first off, thank you. The last time I want to say that I did like anything that's heavily physical was when used to work the night shift. I used to be a assistant manager for a grocery store, just working like straight up in the night shift. And night shift was constantly stocking shelves, and some of those cases of whatever you're building or whatever you're stocking up. Um, it'd be pretty heavy. That's like 12, a case of like 12 things of like pasta sauce. You got to lift up, be careful with it, stock it up. So it's a lot of like, I did a lot of endurance workout doing that because I did it for 5 nights a week. It's kind of like waking up in the middle of the night and going to a gym because all you're doing is like, as soon as you get the motion of everything, all it really was for me was time to wake up in the middle of the night, clock in, go do a workout. And then that was it. And then as soon as I went to days, people were looking at me because I had like a six pack, you know, everything was pretty shredded. Like they're like, "Whoa, what happened to you?" I'm like, "You guys know what happened. I worked night shift for about 7 months, and they wanted to make me a manager because I had a mind for it. But like, I just said, I have other aspirations in life. I'm sorry, I don't plan on staying with the grocery store for forever. But now it's just like I will feed myself, so I'm probably about 15 pounds heavier since those 2.5 years ago. But still, my chest is it's not that wide, but arms are relatively, they are there pretty much. So it's if I went back to lifting, I know how to because I did it in high school, and the uh, the experience stayed with me, so I know how to train with weights. I know how to do that. I have to like come back to me and I have to be confident about it. They'll have to come back to me, and then I have to do a little bit of research. But I know how to weight train. I did it. I took classes of it for about 2 years, so uh, so I know how to do that. So I'm thinking maybe as soon as everything comes in order, I'm thinking maybe I'll have to set like an hour or so for like a local gym or something like that, and then that'd be pretty interesting to see how far I can go with that, and if I just keep up with it. Yeah, I have a date this weekend. What should I? So if you have a date this weekend, if you're asking what you need to cook, I'm assuming that you already got her behind the door, right? Um, you already got her in your place. Um, honest to God, you should probably ask her that question in the meet, unless it's one of those situations where you just want to wow her. And to that regard, I would try to find a way. If she's like, first of all, find out if she's allergic to anything. Treat it as like an off thing question, you know, because chances are it's Tuesday right now, so you're going to be asking her. You guys are going to be talking. Just say, hey, are you allergic to anything or something like that, and then I would go from there. If you really want to make her comfortable, you know, make her relaxed, think of a pasta dish. Um, that way, once you find out if she is allergic to anything, then you can alter that pasta dish. Um, especially you got to find out if she's lactose. That's the main thing they have to find out if you're going to cook for her. Um, if she's lactose intolerant. If she's not, I would recommend a very something very simple. For she loves she would be poisoned for you. Don't stress about it. Yeah, you already got her behind the door, but if you want to, because once you have her behind the door, you already know. You just don't want to screw anything else up. It's great that you're thinking this way, though. You know what I mean? It's great that you're asking for advice because that means you care. So props to you for that one. Um, I would just go with like a simple Cajun chicken Alfredo. If I had to be completely honest with you, make it very simple. Make it very homely. What was the next question here? Or statement. You look like you're a part of a motorbike gang. I'm glad that you occurred to that motorbike gang. Um, yeah, do a chicken Alfredo. Put some Cajun seasoning in it. Not too hard. If you know she's not lactose, do something simple like that. You don't have to absolutely wow her. If you do something that's really like out of nowhere, it might freak her out just a little bit. But go slow with it. You know, chicken Alfredo. Just be decent with the peppers. Keep your seasoning and in check. If you can, if you know how to, if you want to look up a recipe for your own Alfredo sauce. Don't buy the canned shit. Make your own Alfredo sauce. Build it off of that so that it's nothing that she's ever had before, but it's still very simple. Learn how to make your own Alfredo sauce. Not that hard. Yeah, make sure she's not vegan either. But I think he probably already knows that. So, um, motorcycle gang. No, my dad rode a motorcycle. Alfredo chicken with the trouble poison then. Okay, psychopath. My dad owned a motorcycle. We're not really too sure what to do with it yet. I said I didn't want it. Um, that's a private thing between me and my mom. Said I want anything else my family know about. I'll let you guys know. I told her straight up, wherever money comes my way is going to be built off of four walls. If I want something to remember him by, I want a picture, a really nice picture with me and him as they're out there. Uh, really nice picture, and it's just something I can have on my desk. Boy, I'm vegan. Are you? It can be. I can't dock vegan dishes. Make me bollocks. Nicked me bollocks. Some vegans are cringe. I don't really think eBuzz is. Um, it's cringe, but you do get that norm within like vegans who preach about veganism and try to get other people who are not vegan into turning vegan. I'll try vegan plates, but I can never go vegan. Like I said, do I like Andrew Tate? It's all right. I won't go out of my way to watch any of the shit though. Right. There's vegans and radical vegans. Um, it's kind of like Christianity almost, because it's like a different change of lifestyle. Because there's good-hearted Christians that just believe in them and they take care of other people and they generally want to do that, and then there's Christians who kind of want that kind of like a control thing. So yeah, it's kind of like that. He lives without danger. He says a lot of smart things. I think he's an arrogant little dick, but I respect him. So who's Andrew Tate? Is he the new Superman? Come on, stop. Man, when I was in middle school, I looked up to Batman. All right, I didn't look up to some fucking bro on the boy high school. Okay, so don't 100% look up to Andrew Tate. I would say. Um, I don't go out of my way to listen to him. I don't think he's an idiot at all, at all. I think he's a decent person. But some of the things he says is, if you're trying to get a girlfriend, don't listen to some of the things he says. It's lame. He's trying to be a dominant guy in uh, in the world, and it's just you don't have to be like that. Don't have to. At the end of the day, everything's your choice. So if you look up to him and that's the way you want to live, I don't see an issue with it personally. Respect your fellow men and women. That's it. That's all I have to say to that. Just with him, he's a little bit pushy. He has a very loud personality, so um, that's why I don't really watch his stuff, because sometimes if I watch it for longer than 5 to 10 minutes, then I'm just like I'm tired of it. You know, I'm a homebody myself. Anyone who stays in a home, and this is for me, anyone who stays in one home does work or works on something. That's me. That's it. No gender shit, no bullshit like that. That's what's going to happen. People need to keep working on something and work on themselves if they need to. I don't believe in the traditional housewife. I think house chores is something that everyone's taught, so everyone's accountable. You know, so don't be like, oh, I'm the man to make the money, so the wife has to do all this shit. No, no, it doesn't have to be like that. If the wife works, guess what? You're doing half the housework. So SATs can be in they can be in high school too. At least when I went to high school. I was a average student. I think I graduated like slightly above average. I do recommend sports. That's one thing that Andrew did. I do think he said, do some sports, man. I wrestled in high school. Best time of my life. I was great at it too. Not amazing great, but it was one of the many projects that I had for myself. I did wrestling class. I did at the same time I was doing wrestling class. I wrestled sometimes after high school to train with the wrestling guys who did it full time. I was kind of a part time wrestler. If they needed somebody my weight division, which back then it was 152 to 145, then I participate. I also did a lot of poetry. So you skipped prom, bruh. Probably a good thing. I'm not gonna lie. From my experience, it's probably a good thing, my man. Um, prom for me. Diva is where you stay, man. You got this real uptight vibe. Oh, he skipped prom. I don't know how uptight he is. Skipped prom. Skipped prom. I wish I did. Honestly, I didn't have a date. I was very well liked. A lot of girls wanted to dance with me, but that kind of like created like a little bit of an issue when I went to prom because I was like dressed up, short hair, really good looking dude. A lot of girls came up to me, Rob, hey, how's it going, Rob? Fucking, do I still talk about prom? I didn't have one. I talked to girls that I've been with in high school still. Gotta be honest with you. It's very, very thin, but a few of them I still keep in contact with. Just because it's a lot different of a vibe now, because now it's like we're following our own career paths and stuff like that. And life is fucking nuts. I'll tell you that. So, man, I crashed 2 proms. I do remember that they spiked the punch bowl at my prom. I do remember that. Someone actually did that. I don't know how much alcohol I was actually in that punch bowl, but I do remember someone spiked it. When I found out about it, I wasn't a drinker back then, so I just avoided it. Um, yeah, I didn't drink in high school. I didn't start drinking until I was 22. I am turning 35 by the end of this month. And you can see by my age, it's like my eyes are just like, I was tired. I'm always working. So, working on some at least. That's a good point, man. I made one promise to myself. I'm young in spirit, and that's never going to go away, no matter what. Favorite serial killer? I don't have one. I know a lot about them. If you're drinking, drink Prime. Yeah, drink Prime. Vaping ain't shit. You may want to get off of that pretty soon, but it ain't shit. Don't worry about that. Um, as far as like the serial killer thing goes, Everything about it is fascinating, but to say that I have a favorite is it'd be sick. Vaping tends to have like a little bit of a nicotine thing, but it's less nicotine than a cigarette, but it's very flavored. So it's technically healthier, technically, but you still want to get off of it eventually. Yeah. It's far less nicotine than a cigarette. And they advertise it, it's been proven, but still, it's still going to have, yeah, no tobacco, just nicotine. But we ain't here to judge. Dude, I'll be honest with you too. A lot of people in my wrestling, during my wrestling years, they all chewed tobacco. So I didn't. I didn't really care for it, but they chewed tobacco. So I mean, chewing tobacco is fucking disgusting as compared to vaping goes. You're good in my book. Don't worry about it. But oh, banana flavored malt liquor. It sounds pretty intriguing. I'm very slowly eating my burger, not because it's bad, but because I'm now using it as like kind of like a little bit of like a chaser thing. I know I'm gonna finish the food because it's almost gone. Zuru Zim. Stop. No, now they're picking on the high school man. No, I cooked my own food, dude. I did a simple just burger and fried up an egg, put the egg on top, hot sauce, barbecue. Very simple stuff. I'll let you know this right now. Fast food's a fucking ripoff. Don't ever buy it. Save your money. Go to a store and learn how to cook. Not that hard. Your woman doesn't cook for you. I'm a single man, man. I'm a cook of a profession as well. So even when I am with somebody, I cook for them. Them's the rules. Ooh, it's strange with me. Um, because when I was going to high school, I didn't really picture myself being a cook at all, right? But I think what happened was my first job was was at a Wingstop. My first full time job. My first actual job was in the high school cafeteria. Then I worked with the I worked as a school bus aide, is what they called it, and they the kids on there were either misbehaved or deaf or whatever. So I worked a very special job back then. And then I eventually worked at a Wingstop where I was guaranteed full time. Yeah, they do go ham for these nuts. I did. What was that? I did date for a very long time. I had the same girl for about 10 years at a prior time in my life. That was about 4 years ago when we split up. Um, Never fully worked out. Like we tried to because we actually cared about each other, but it got towards the end to where things were getting dicey and kind of just grew apart. So uh, that happened. But even then, she did not cook. So she baked a little bit, but she was never really that great of a cook. Android, 100%. Or said Wendy's. Wendy's is badass. We're talking like fast food burgers. Wendy's is fucking grand. Yeah, fuck iOS. Ain't dealing with iOS. I'm Android all the way through. I ain't gonna complicate that shit. If I'm gonna complicate anything, it's gonna be my computer setup. The next computer that I buy, I need to set aside like a shit ton of money. I mean, a shit ton of money, and then relearn it and put myself to like the future thing. iOS is garbage though. I supervised the Five Guys for about a year and a half, and Apple is overrated. Yeah, I'll pay not to buy an iOS. Why can't lag? I don't know why I'm lagging. Am I lagging? Could be. Let me see here. Where's there? Could be. What are my plans for later in the night? Nothing today. Honestly, I'm totally fine with just. I got another 40 right now. That I want to. Yeah, the Barbie world does not have great internet connection. Oh, you're from Kyoto? Wow, that's Japanese, isn't it? Hold on. Let me try something real quick. You guys can let me know. If this works or not. You're angerish. I think that might work right there. Hey, I'm gonna rinse out this glass now. I'll be right back in like 2 seconds. And let me know if it works out. Oh God. Boy. Ow. My toe. Fuck. All right. Rinse out the glass, get all the foam out. Left staring at an empty room while on shrooms. It's a creepy fucking room, huh? Not my design either. This is not my design. I have a bed here. My desk is here. Everything else in this room, aside from like a handful of clothes, not a handful. I'm gonna say like probably like a week's worth of clothes. Maybe 2 weeks. I have it like in a little tubby drawer. Stream quality lag. What is going on? It did, didn't it? Let me see here. All right, let me know if that's better. You gotta understand, I'm on the phone right now, so I'm using the phone's Ethernet. I have 5G, so it should work out just fine. Thank you. I was watching something. Oh, about like Japanese rooms or like hotel rooms that you rent out in Japan if you ever visit Japan. They're really fucking interesting. They're very like how do you say it? Very eco efficient. I respect that like a lot. I'm a Korean. Back in the day, I think so. Boy. Ah, oh my god, we just started kicking in. I mean, K-pop is alright as far as like music goes. Korean pop, it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's like amazing, but there's this one tour that I wanted to go on to, but I just didn't have it in me. Um, they did a Death Clock and Baby Metal tour, and they called it Baby Clock. Get here from California. Yep. As we live and breathe. I am in Cali. I am from here, and I actually live right now in the same town that I was born in. So that's pretty cool. The same hospital, actually, that I was born in. The same hospital. It's about a 20-minute walk. So you know that? Yes, I do. Definitely. See, just because he's in high school now doesn't mean that he doesn't know decent music. Avenged Sevenfold is fucking awesome. Oh yeah, Avenged Sevenfold, Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed, all that stuff. Avenged Sevenfold was on my workout playlist too. You know, I was a lot more into like progressive rock. I love Symphony X, Rush, Dream Theater. I was a little bit out of context with other people who like music too, but Opeth was definitely one of the bands that a few of my friends liked in high school. It counts. It counts. It counts, man. If there's nothing wrong with like K-pop, it's a little bit, it's a little corny to me, but to say that's not catchy, oh, your goddamn mind. It is pretty catchy. It just doesn't sing to me. Yes. Dream Theater I started listening to in 2004. So 20 years now. Thanks. Oh, I'm getting old. Blind Guardian is a really big band of mine too. I love me some Blind Guardian. Breaking Benjamin's good. Never did me wrong. I always affiliated for some reason in my head. This is the Life from Bad Dream Theater is an amazing track. Amazing. That and what introduced me to Dream Theater was my longtime friend. Uh, he and I have been friends since again when I was like 12, 13. And he introduced me to Dream Theater. He had me listen to A Change of Seasons by Dream Theater. And I could not fathom the fact that someone wrote a song that was 23 minutes. And I got obsessed ever since. I heard that women in California are not wifey material. Is that true? Uh, yeah, it's true. it's, it's definitely true. You have to you got to get lucky to find a girl that's in that vicinity. It's definitely true. All of these bitches are spoiled by their fathers and stuff like that. Octavarium, yeah, I know that song. I know what it's all about. Octavarium's a very good a very good track. It's a very good album too. See, this guy knows fucking music. If he knows music, he knows how to treat himself in high school. There you go, bud. I like this guy. He's got taste. I didn't even have to mention Octavarium. He already knew about that song, like very just like that. I'm really excited because now Mike Portnoy's back in the band again too. The other drummer, I forgot his name, unfortunately. Uh, he was great, but it just didn't feel right ever. You know, the albums that they wrote with that other drummer, like Mike Mangini, I think his name was. Um, it, it worked, but it just wasn't the same for me. You know, they didn't really say anything bad. They, Barstool Warrior was still one of my favorite songs, but it was nothing like how Mike Portnoy had it, you know. Yeah, yeah. Mike Portnoy definitely has a lot more of a personality. Mike Mangini, yeah. Where's the W in my name? I know there's no W in my name. I was born a winner. I don't need a W in my name, all right? But yeah, it was kind of more like he was. It kind of felt like he was there for a job. Like he had a job to do the right music and stuff. What he wrote was great. He's a fantastic drummer, but it because of how Oasis is cool. I don't care for the Smiths. Strokes is pretty cool. We're gonna go down that route. Um, I have to remember a song now. The Police. Yeah, that's the band that just came to my mind. The Police is cool. Yeah, I got to pee. I just poured this. I gotta get this down. Another favorite band of mine that's like somewhat recent. I love Ninja Sex Party because they make me fucking laugh. The band Travis. And I don't know. Trivium I was big on. Um, Machine Head is a big thumbs up for me. I love Machine Head. Disturbed, I love just as much. Probably a little bit more than Machine Head, but they're up there. Horn's great. Rob Zombie was great to me until I saw Rob Zombie live, and he's kind of a prick. Lamb of God, I've moshed actually to Lamb of God before, and 2013. Yeah, I think it was 2013. I got my ass fucking kicked. Like, not to the point where I had to see anybody or anything like that, but I was bruised up. I was bruised up in my arms and stuff like that. Moshing the Lamb of God is a fucking death wish. Right. It's on the hatch. Here's the Lamb of God, though. Lamb of God. I got to pee real quick, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. Larry Cohen, two original composer of Hallelujah. Oh yeah, System of a Down has always been good. That's no question. I got to pee. Oh. Yeah, so let me see here. Who else have I seen? But there's a lot of bands I've seen live. So uh saw Dragon Force live back then when ZP Third was the lead singer, and seeing them live sucked. I've seen Cannibal Corpse live. That was amazing. Behemoth is amazing live. Disturbed is always great live. Um, yeah, Dragon Force is garbage live. Now they're okay, but Herman Lee and Herman Lee is the probably the only guy in Dragon Force that I could actually like take seriously. Have a good day, my boy. You know what? Props to you. Prosper yourself. Be confident with yourself. Treat others, treat other people well. Hell, if I have any advice to give any younger generation, you know what? Give like $5 to an homeless person. See how it feels. See how it feels inside for you. $5. Or if you really want to go baller, you can buy them like a full fledged meal. Sometimes homeless people don't want to full meal. Sometimes they just want money, but do something for a homeless person if they're around your area. Harmony was Big Harmony was a guitarist. Um, Now they're a lot more. I haven't seen anything live from them, but now they don't take themselves as seriously, which I think is probably better for that band because now they perform a lot better. So they grew pretty well. Herman Lee is still he's still a great musician to me. So he's good in my books. The rest I'm not quite sure because they always change like bassists and drummers and stuff like that. I had this question I wanted to ask. What's your opinion on tipping culture in the USA? Oh boy. Oh boy. Um, Hold on. Before I answer that, I'm gonna have to pour myself another beer. Now that's gonna be a long. That's a very good question. So that tells me that you're paying attention to what I was saying. That tells me that you've been paying attention that I work for the restaurant industry. I'll pour that not that much. I'll put the rest of the vodka in there too before I say anything. Oh boy. Because right now, as it's foaming down, it's very tongue in cheek for me. But in order for me to ask that question, I feel like I gotta be a little bit more loose. Because I'll tell you this right now, it's it's a lot to dig into. A lot to dig into. Because, like I said, I live in California, so it's different for me in California than what it is for other people. So we'll dig into this, and we will. So let me educate you about what I know at the very least, as far as like California goes, as far as like the tipping world works, because I've seen both sides of um, just regular tipping, and then you have the suggested tip. Spooning down a little bit now. Won't wait until it gets a little bit smaller, but we can start this conversation now. I feel a little more comfortable talking about it. Here's the rest of that vodka. That goes in there. That goes right there. So it depends, like with California, it depends on where you work. A lot of people, a lot of working environments in California tend to now they tend to tip out the cooks, right? So in California, normally when I started my cooking career when I was a line cook, we didn't get tipped out, and the servers. And I had a pretty big debate about the server in general. The servers get tipped out like a shit ton. And we would hang out at the end of the night. And I get bitched at because they would talk to me about their problems and be like, I only made like $300 tonight. And I look at my wallet and I'm like, only 300, huh? Only 300? Now restaurants are slowly going into some of the tips go out to the cook or the cooks or the line cooks automatically. And it's gradually changing because the living cost in California is beyond ridiculous. And now they're deeming it so that cooks, and they should, receive a little bit of a tip, a little bit of it, of something, you know. To put it into perspective, I cooked for and supervised a Chili's for about 4 to 6 months. I don't remember the terminal or the time frame for that. And I got about 2% of the total tips that was distributed on the entire restaurant, which added up to $200 a week. And that was on top of my wage, which is about like $17. But that $200 a week for tips, that made the world of difference because I didn't have to pay taxes on that. It just went to me. When you're a server, it pays dividends to a point because let's be honest, if you know how to be a decent server, that money comes easy. That tip money comes easy. My sister is a server, and she is phenomenal at her job because she knows what she needs to do. And we often now, recently, especially, we collaborate because I'm a cook and she's a server. It just happened to be like that. We collaborate on how things work out. We have our own ideologies and stuff like that. More or less, we agree with one another. She believes that the cooks should be tipped more if they're doing a great job, and I believe in that as well. You know, she believes in tipping out bussers, dishwashers, cooks, anywhere who works in that fucking restaurant deserves a tip of some extent, and I believe that too. You have to because it's grueling, annoying work because like you have to take a test, you have to, you know, you have to be certified to work in a restaurant these days, especially in California. You have to be certified, and you know, and once you become a waitress, if you know what you're doing, it can be a little bit hard at times. But honestly, like so long as you know how to step and create your steps and know how to handle everything, it's suddenly magic. You know, next thing you know, you're able to afford this and that after tipping on everybody else because you're so goddamn good at your job that you make these things happen. Now, we go to the other end of the spectrum. Now we're not talking about like sit down restaurants. I'm going to talk about, because you brought that up, goddamn fucking tip recommendation when you do like the Kodiak or whatever the fuck, right? If I go out to a bar, there's this one bar that I went out to in particular that kind of forced you and kind of guilt tripped you a little bit. When you have this kiosk, you know, and The Simpsons made fun of this. Well, it's at 15, 20, or 30%, or something like that. It gives you an option, and you have that person like staring at you. Not really that intently, but they look at you, and you can tell like look in your eye, look in their eyes, like they kind of need it. And it's just like, man, and I'll go to a bar that like only serves beer, and they just pour a beer out of a stout, pull it at a 90-degree angle. We deserve the tip, don't we? And like personally, I'm paying $8 for a beer already, and you want $2 to $3 more from me to fill up your pockets. Oh God, like I'm sorry, hon, but no, but I do it anyway. But I mean, I tip 20% just because of I'm out. That means I have like the money to spare and stuff like that. That's fine. But in all reality, it's so dumb. The kiosk shit needs to go because it's guilt tripping people who are just trying to go out and having a decent time, and and now they have to tip 20%, 30%, whatever. 20% is the max I'll go. 50% is like average. 10% is like, well, I kind of feel sorry for you. It is fucking bogus. It's absolutely bogus. There's no art and craftsmanship into pouring me a fucking beer, especially for the place I'm talking about in particular, when they pour it into a plastic cup and you expect something. Like, no, you guys aren't working. You're handing out plastic cups of this for $8 to $9 a cup and asking for a 20% tip offer. You did 15 seconds of work. And you expect those 15 seconds to turn into $2 for you. If I can make that kind of money, my God, like it's fucking nuts, and it guilt trips you. So, in all retrospect, I don't think tipping California it shouldn't be a thing. It's grotesque, I think that the cult, what they call it, the ideology of California needs to change. If you're gonna serve beer, right, in a beer bar, every glass gets hand washed. Don't hand me a plastic cup of beer and expect a $20 tip just because you did 15 seconds of work. No, I want those glasses washed out, cleaned out, professionally washed. I want those glasses in the 3-sink composition, dried out, ready to go. At the very, very least. Don't hand me a fucking plastic cup of beer and then expect me to pay for it. That's absurd. That's what's absurd to me. So someone who's worked in the restaurant industry in that aspect, that's bullshit. Especially when you go to like a Starbucks. Come on. I understand Starbucks workers go through some decent amount of shit. I get it. But unless I'm asking for something that's really like complex, if I go to a bartender and say like, "Hey, I want something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. Can you make me make this work?" And they make it work, and it appeals to me, I would definitely tip 30%. I have no problem doing that. But and 30% is going above and beyond. 20% is technically going beyond it. But if I'm looking for something to say, then yeah, I'll tip the bartender like fucking bar none. But especially when it comes to like fucking like a Subway or something like that. Yeah. If tip, yeah, man, like it's a percentile that you have to follow. But some places deserve a really good tip, and there's other places that don't deserve quite as good of a tip, but they feeling they feel obligated. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would I would tip 20% to a Subway worker? Why would I do that? I know how to make my own sandwich. So it's just nuts. It's nuts to me. All right, I have to pee again. Yeah, it's damn fucking nuts. But if I go to like a fine dining restaurant and everything's like on point, service is on point, yeah, fucking tip them out. But at Subway or anything like that, as a kiosk that says you want to tip 15, 20, 30%, those kiosk machines can go suck a fucking fat. Weapon. Hell no. Hell no. This is why I like the drinking at the pace that I do. Because the first thing is I have to pee. I like drinking at this pace because uh, it keeps me like inclined with people what they want to ask me about it. But yeah, California especially. It, at the end of the day, it kind of depends on where you go. Um, do servers at times deserve that 30% tip, which is kind of unheard of? Sometimes, yes, they do. More often, they deserve a 20% tip. But I've heard of servers who all they're really doing is studying a menu, recommending stuff. And they turn around and say, "Oh man, on top of my minimum wage, I just earned $300 in tips tonight, so that kind of sucks. So until I earn like $600 tonight." And I just look at them, like, huh? What? Compared to my 115, I'm sweating my balls off back here. That servers can be greedy or humble, and servers need to learn how to be humble. So I understand like the full analogy of what you're working with. I'll tell you the worst server. I got promoted to head server I've ever worked in my life. As soon as I get back, so I have to be. And probably rinse up this glass because I am out. So if I can, we'll get back to that. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. All right. So story time. I spent 2 hours and got what yours. You're these nuts. Ah, okay. Ah, I'm immature. If you want to, yeah. Tell me more about your Japan life sometime. I'm very interested in hearing about that. So, because now I'm in that like state of alcohol-induced state. When I talked about earlier about how when I drink, something's come back into fruition, and so there's so I worked at this one restaurant. Uh, you guys may know the restaurant is BJ's Restaurant in Burroughs, and I worked there for about 2.5 years until the pandemic hit. And so when I came back there for about a month and a half, everybody already knew. They knew who I was. You know, I came back, and prior to that, I was a novice. I was a novice when it came to cooking because I went from the. You gotta get my timeline straight. I went from grocery store to here where I live right now. Went from being a chef here, made fucking bombshells, and then eventually backtracked, and then eventually ended up at BJ's again because they asked me to come back. And uh, and I was working the burger sandwich station. When you work at BJ's, when you're a line cook, there's 6 stations. You get salads, appetizers, sandwich, royal pizza. And what happened was is that I just got bombarded. I was by myself with burgers. Wasn't a call for a day. No one expected it, and but no one even came out to help me either. And they're just like, "Yeah, I can deal with it." I could if I was left alone. And this server, who became a head server, um, knew me from back before I ran my own kitchen and stuff like that. And she tells me after everything's entered in correctly, because there's a modification on the burger that I saw, and I'm like 25 burgers in deep. Like there's a lot that's going on in my head, so I have to like micromanage this now, like on the fly, and make sure it gets out properly. And my thing is that if someone entered something wrong into the system, they wants to let me know about it, no matter how busy I am, I'll say okay, you know that's fine. But when someone comes to me, and I took this very fucking personally, when someone comes to me and says, "Oh hey, so what happened was is that this guy wants this modification, and the modification is already on the ticket, and I already see it." If I say I know, I said it pretty condescendingly. Um, I say I know. She snapped at me. She's like, "You know what? You always had a really fucking bad attitude and stuff like that." And I'm like, "No, I have a serious attitude. Now I do. And now you want to stop me from serving all these burgers out to your tables, and you want to disrupt me because of something that's already on the ticket. Why do you think I can't read?" Like, are you that dumb? Have I ever fucked up before? Ever? Well, in the beginning, I did. At the beginning of my tenure, about 4 or 5 years ago, prior to that. But she just started freaking out. I'm like, no, don't interrupt me. If it's already on the ticket, I know how to read. I know how to read recipes. I'm a cook. Are you? Why? Why on earth would you degrade me like that? I know it's there. Back off. And let me deal with it. And she did not like that for me at all. And she went to the managers about it, and the managers came to me like, "Hey, so what's going on?" I'm like, she's interrupting my shit. You know, like I can read these things. I'm getting them out at a really good time. I'm fucking overwhelmed over here. I'm getting them out within like 15 minutes. Why is she interrupting me? She's insulting me at this point. Back to my first tenure at BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse, I can understand it because I was a mad, dumb boy compared to what I am now. I know how to read the tickets. Let me have a work at this. She doesn't need to run the ship. Let me run my own ship. And then I did it. And then as soon as I completed it, everyone came to me and they were just like, "We'll shut up now. We're sorry." Like, yeah, you're goddamn right. You're sorry. You know, like I have a little bit of an attitude because I want to have to check for rarities and stuff like that for burgers and make sure everything's going on point. Yeah, I have a bit of a fucking attitude when someone says I can't read when I'm already like so organized and everything's coming out pretty well. You know what it was? It was fried jalapenos. She was like, "This burger needs fried jalapenos." I'm like, "Okay, well, for what table?" "Table such and such." And Nari says fried jalapenos. Like, "Yes." I just said on the ticket. I'm aware. Thank you. And she took that as an insult. I'm like, come on. Like, what more can I do? Like, it's okay. You know what? You always have such a bad attitude. We're just trying to help you. I'm like, don't, don't. You know, like, fuck off. Pretty much. Like, no. It's so full of like bullshit drama at that fucking restaurant in particular because they don't know how to manage it. So I just don't like no. I don't give a fuck. I'm busting my ass. I'm sweating. You can see that I'm sweating, and then you're making insult of my work. Man, come on. Yeah. It's like I said, man, like you come to a cook who has to study recipes, and you're gonna assume that they can't read. Okay, like who the fuck are you? Like, man, they suck. Some servers suck because they just want attention. They're just very fidgety, and they're just like, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm gonna panic, so I'm gonna just do this. And nah, nah. If you're really good at a server, at being a server, you know damn well what the customer wants, and you know how to control that shit. You know how to run that shit. Her, no, she had no business earning the wage that she did. Point blank, point blank. So that, in my opinion, was the worst server I ever had. Some servers who are just starting off, they're genuine, they're sincere. A lot of servers remember my name too. So because they can say, I know he's kind of an asshole with the food he comes out with. Second to none. I don't care if I come off as a dick to some people. Sometimes they need to hear it. It's my personality. This is my life. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and banter and insult anybody. I'm there to insult the work they're doing at that current point. If it's wrong, I'm not there to, you know, if they fuck up at their job, they fucked up. You know, if I'm explaining as to why they're fucking up, if they're going through a hard time, I sincerely, you know, I relate to it. You know, right? Because sometimes life just fucking sucks. You know what I mean? So sometimes they may be going through it, and kind of want to be there for the people that you work around, especially in the restaurant industry. But when that little girl told me that, you know what, you're just too insensitive, you know, try to bark me up, man, I handed up with her. I told her, look, this burger, there's one burger on here, and I have 30 others that I had to get out. And you're putting me on the pressure, you're stopping me because you think I can't read. You don't deserve shit in this world. You know that. You deserve to get fired. I should have told you that. Honestly, I should have. If I knew I was going to quit at the spot, I didn't quit at the spot. Eventually, he ended up leaving anyway because of me calling out the family and being told that's not acceptable. So you can understand where that goes. It's not acceptable. You have to call out and call out, but you do it again, then we're going to have to terminate you. Really? So when it comes to her position, I know how much money she's making, which is a little bit over $30 an hour. She did not deserve it. I don't think anybody in that management position deserved what they're making. I don't think so. Nope. Nope. I think they're making shit as they're going along, personally. Man, if I could change the world, it would be that place. Because that's where I truly started to understand, like, yeah, I'm a cook. You know, this is after my Five Guys stuff. But, yeah. Anyway, I said if I got, I think 2.5 hours is good enough. So I'm gonna end it. Peace out.